Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful episode of Lupus Has No Face podcast, where we talk about real life, real struggles, and the power behind lupus and beyond. I'm your host, Savannah Burks, and we have our special guest, my dear friend, my manager, my
What's up?
producer, the biggest in the Midwest TDR Network podcast, and Mr. Antonio Luckett in the building today.
Let's
How
back
are
up for a minute.
you?
It's the largest podcasting network in the Midwest, not
That's
just a
what I
podcast.
said.
You said podcast, but
No, I did not say that. Run it back, y'all. See, this is what I'm
make
talking
sure
about.
y'all go back. When y'all go in the comment section, say whether or not she said podcast or podcast network. Let's get these engagements up.
Hey, what do you mean?
No,
I
it's
didn't
a
say
different.
network.
You got to say network.
Okay, so this is why.
This is why we're doing this episode.
This is why we're doing this episode. Okay, behave.
I'm behaving. I just said, look, if we gonna do it, we gonna do it big, baby.
So we will be discussing behind the mic, friendship, business while dealing with an invisible illness. Okay.
Okay.
I felt that it was very important to cover this topic due to the fact of a lot of people that get into business go into, oh, this is just business, or
Right.
this is just how I want it ran, when they don't realize you have to have a certain type of relationship with your business partner, and that is going to grow into family, friends, close friends, just like, you know, it's going to be your everyday person, but you have to create boundaries and have respect levels and none of that ego and stuff that's driven. So I felt the need that this was very, very important to cover this topic. So before we get started, for the people that do not know who Antonio Luckett is,
You did your homework on me? Oh, Steph, let's see what she did. She did her homework.
for people that do not know who you are, can you share a little bit about who you are and what inspired you to start TDR Network and the Man Up Project?
Okay. Ooh. All right. So for those who don't know, I started TDR Network about 15 years ago. The whole purpose of really starting TDR Network was I needed an outlet. During the time frame of when TDR was still just being an infant, I lost not one, not two, but 3 jobs in the matter of literally 60 days. Okay. Downsizing on one, availability on another, and the last one still, this is an at-will state. So to lose 3 jobs simultaneously, I ended up also kind of almost losing my house at the same time. So I fell into a heavy state of depression during this particular time frame, and literally I needed an outlet. And one of the biggest things that I realized is, as men, we often or not are not allowed to be openly able to express how we feel about anything. Whenever something happens, they always tell you to man up. They tell you, look, you know what, whatever it is, put your emotions to the side and man up. But not realizing that sometimes we do need that voice and that outlet to be able to go ahead and say, look, I'm going through something here right now. I'm mentally drained. I'm physically drained, trying to live up to the standards of what society say that a man is supposed to be and a provider. All of these things was beaten down on me, which made me go into a heavy state of depression. Luckily for me, my friends realized that I was not being the tone that they were known for me to be. So they forced me to be outside. They forced me to socialize. They forced me to do all these different things. But even during all of that, no one ever sat down and asked me, how are you doing? So during this time frame, me and my brother Juan, the one half of the Deaf Fresh show, we used to just go to local events and just pick with people. We used to take a camera, we take a little microphone, and we would just interview people on the spot. Okay. Right then and there. Just start picking with people. And it slowly started making me realize that a lot of people just want to be heard. They just want to have a voice. They just want to be able to say some things. So from that moment on, TDR was born. Okay. I created a network where I can allow people to have a voice and to be able to say what they want to say. But over time, when internet radio transitioned to podcasting, I also transitioned what the purpose of TDR was. And not only do I want to give you a voice, but I want to give you a purpose behind your voice. So not only are you going to be able to sit down and have a conversation about grief, about depression, about relationship, about comic books, about having an invisible illness, but we're going to go ahead and figure out how can we make your voice be heard by everybody else? How are we going to take your message and grow it past just simply talking to your friends on the couch?
For sure.
And while doing all of that, I also came in contact with several men throughout the network who was like, I love what you're doing, but I want someone to hear me. And then all of a sudden, the Man Up Project was born. So through the Man Up Project, our goal is to, once again, let those men be heard. Let those men have that opportunity to be out there and speak and say how they feel. Give them the resources, give them the connection. Hell, it can be a one-on-one setting. It can be a group setting, whatever you need in regards to being able to deal with everyday life and get through it. That's our goal with the Man Up Project. So we want you to man up, but we also want you to know that manning up doesn't mean that you can't feel at the same time.
Okay, that was a lot. So I want to dissect it. No, that's good. No, I'm not saying it's a lot as in you saying too much, but that was a lot, like as in being dope. Right. So let me just go back a little bit. Okay. I'm going to hit up on the Man Project. So for those that do not know, the next meeting for the Man Up Project is this Friday, the 26th, from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. and it's going to be at TDR Studios. Yes. You can go to his page, go to my page. It's all on social media. Yep. So please do come, see if you like it, see if you want to be a part of it, or if it's some information that you can pass along to someone else that may need it. Definitely.
So whether you got a brother, son, sister, husband, father, dad, like go to your dad, go to any male person in your life and ask them how they doing. I guarantee you, if their answer is, I'm cool, I'm fine, I'm okay, that's not really how they feeling. A lot of us men have a habit of just saying, I'm fine, but we nowhere near it. So I want them to be able to come in and say, you fine? Okay. But what kind of fine are you? Let's figure out what's really going on. Let's open up and let's express how you really feel. And at the end of the day, we want to make it a safe space where you can say whatever. If your girl getting on your nerve, you can come here and tell us that. We don't care.
Work. Whatever. So that brings me back into the beginning of the stages when you were saying men just want to be heard. So now me personal experience, right? Okay. I've heard that men want to be heard, right? Mm-hmm. Not directly to me, but I've heard that statement before. Right. Now, do that really just falls on the man or the people that's around him? Because it's twofold, right? Because some men say, oh, I'm a man, I'm supposed to. And it's just like, you creating all of that monsters, this drama in your own head when somebody is truly asking you, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Come talk to me. And because however you were raised, you got that mentality, that mindset to where I'm a man, I'm not going to talk about my feelings. Whereas I can speak for myself, my son, I never, ever told my son to man up. You know what I mean? I always felt like a kid should have a voice, period. Right. You know what I'm saying? Within respectable lines. I got crucified for that. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, like, I'm who I am, and this is what I believe in, and this is why so many kids go through what they go through. So I just wanted you to kind of answer that. Like, so is it just the people that's around the man saying man up, or is it really the man in their head what they think a man should look like? Because society told us what a man should look like, or told them what a man should look like, and they don't express it because they feel weak or they feel vulnerable. So
that, first of all, that's a glamorous conversation right there. I love that topic right there. Let's put a pin in that one. Okay. For those who know, it's actually both, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. One creates the other. Okay. a lot of men this day and age who do think like that, whereas and when I'm a man up, I got to do this, I got to do that. It was taught to them from somebody. Somebody in their life did that. They probably seen granddad who's just always been a grinder. There was dad who's always been in the hustle mentality. There is always somebody who says, you got to get up and get that. And then the second part is, yes, it's also the environment. I can sit here and I can literally be in a state of depression. I could be under the bed and I can be like, I don't know where I'm going to get this next paycheck from. And I got 27,000 bills to pay. And I got this class and I got the girls. And my friends can be like, bro, shut the fuck up and man up, bro. Get up here and do what you got to do. Get out here and get this paper. You got the skills. So it comes from both. Now, you do have some who use it as an excuse. Okay. You have a lot of them who use it as an excuse because they were taught it as an excuse. It was taught to them as a negative reason why you have to man up and not looking at it as a positive way. Because I know for me, if something happens, I'll shut down for a minute. I'll stop. I'll be like, man, this is going wrong. My world is in woo this, woo that. And shout out to you because you've been one of the people who's done this with me. And you'll sit there and you'll let me be like, it's going to be okay. And then you'll be like, hey, you ever thought about doing this? You know, you can do this, right? Or you can do that. And I'll be like, you know what? You're right. I can do this. I can do that. And next thing you know it, my brain is on. I'm back in business mode. Whatever that little moment of depression I had, I'm still there. But now I've created an answer this time. I'm no longer worried about where I'm going to get this next situation or how I'm going to get this taken care of. And it turns around and turns into, okay, if I do this and this, I can do this. And if I do this, if I move this, I go here. Literally, it's both. So when you have a positive influence who allows you to have your moments that you're in your feelings, but then also checks on you to be like, okay, I understand you're down and you're depressed, but don't forget, you still can do this over here. Or, hey, I understand you lost your job, but remember, you still got a business to run because you know your business can do A, B, C, D. That's what manning up is. Manning up is taking your feelings and realizing you can get through it, but you just need a moment to process it. Women can think on the fly like this. Men, we need to process it for a minute. And once we process it, then we can be back on our grind like nothing.
And just to let you in a little bit, all women don't think like that. I've been around some that don't.
I know, but
we can go on with this conversation, but that's for a different.
That's a glorious conversation for a different day.
For a different day, for sure. So with that being said, how did our friendship begin? Ooh. And what was your first impression of me when we started working together?
So it was a rainy Sunday morning. The ducks were walking across. Now, seriously, shout out to Ken because we have actually been in the same spaces a lot, but we never realized we were in the same spaces. You have often and not been on Ken's podcast as a guest that I never really paid attention that you were there. You've been to events I've been to. You've worked with people. We got a lot of similar circles. So it wasn't until the panel that we actually had an opportunity to sit down. And just like Savannah has always been, she came in 100% in business mode. And I peeped it as I always do when I'm in the room. I observe the room. I observe everybody in the room, and I basically calculate what their purpose is going to be in this room. And I knew right away you were going to be the ideal person. You were going to be the person like, look, this is what we're talking about doing. This is a good way to go about doing it. If you want to do this, let's get A, B, C, D together. And one of the things that always sticks with me is you always said, let's make sure paperwork is good before we do anything. Let's make sure all these things are laid out before we do anything. Let's make sure that we know exactly what our end goal is so we can make sure what we need to get it started correctly is there. Then you started telling your story. I started hearing about the lupus story, and I'm like, okay, my last girlfriend had lupus. My cousin got lupus. This person got, all these people got lupus, and you actually telling your story. You got a niche. You need to start a podcast. And that's exactly how I told it to her. You need to start a podcast. And I bullied her into doing her very first podcast. And here we are, episode 66 later. We still doing it because she listened. But yeah, we actually started pretty aggressively on the business side, and we just never looked back. We did.
No, for sure. I mean, I thank you for that. And like you said, I'm always like that. A lot of people don't appreciate it. I am very aggressive when it comes to a lot of things, but
Mm-hmm.
it's my demeanor as in like, yo, I'm tuned in what we doing
Right.
because you can't bring and this is the thing people don't understand.
Right.
You can't bring me in a business idea and think that you can't because I'm gonna question you to the point of if you don't got your stuff together, you're not going to know how to answer me. And then I can't deal with you if you are not willing to listen to me, if you want me to be a part of something. Because my name is very important to me.
It is.
You know, so
it's a brand.
and people don't understand. Well, it's like, if you wasn't in this lane, then how do you know? No, that doesn't mean that. I don't have to be in a lane that I know nothing about. I know how business is structured.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but let me go ahead and give you your flowers back real quickly while you're doing that. The one thing I like about you is you do your homework on everything. There's never been an idea that me and you haven't talked about where while you're sitting there with the client, you're doing your homework on it. You will know just as much, or at least you will know what the end goal of it is and how it can benefit all those involved before me and you have even sat down and had a full conversation about why we here and how we get in there. And I always give you credit in regards to that. Everything that you do business-wise has to make sense. And as an entrepreneur, to have somebody on the other side that I can work with that knows how to get where we want to get at makes it so much easier to work with you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that because we've been wanting to like each other.
That's because we got different. That's a whole nother conversation. We have different communication styles.
We do.
But that's I know that question is down there somewhere.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to friendship and personal connections.
Okay.
What do you think keeps our friendship grounded despite all the moving parts of business?
You want to hear something funny?
I don't know.
It's the simple fact. No, see, she's so scared. I'm just going to just jump out the window on her, but I'm not. I'm actually going to keep your show professional. We'll jump out the window on the Death Fresh show.
All right.
But no, but seriously, the thing about what keeps us grounded is we have learned how to separate the two.
Yes.
We have had days where on the personal side from both of us, I don't want to talk to you. You don't want to talk to me. We need a break. But that's never stopped the text message about the next show. That's never stopped the conversation about the next event. That's never stopped about what classes we're signing up. Me and you could literally be so mad at each other because one person says something that the other person didn't like, but you're still going to get a message. Hey, are we going to this event on Sunday? And we can sit in the same room and be mad at each other and still enjoying the event. That takes a lot of emotional discipline on both parts to be able to realize that even though our friendship right now is in an angry spot, we can still do what we need to do with business. And because we can still do what we need to do with business, what ends up happening is we start to repair the friendship.
Yeah, for sure.
We start to see, okay, maybe I see it from her point of view, or you see it from my point of view, and I understand, like, okay, what's more important, being mad or getting back on the same page so we can enjoy this event like we're supposed to? And we are really good at correcting that. We are really good at repairing any kind of conflicts that it's to the point right now where we kind of know what each other's going to think and do before we even do it anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and I feel the exact same way. And I feel like how we operate is how any relationship should operate, whether it's a spouse, sister, brother, or anything like that, because you should never get so angry to someone that you're doing business with that you missing opportunities, that you going in and people are reading y'all the wrong way, that you making a mess of the room. You should never, business should never ever be operated on emotions, and you should never ever be operated to where you're not going to give that 1,000% that you normally give because you're feeling some type of way. And I can honestly say that you have not done that.
No.
Now, you may have did something that got on my nerves when I responded right away, but you always made sure you took care of what you need to say.
Let's pause right there. Okay, so that's one thing. I also got to give Savannah, which is why I feel like our friendship will never falter. Because the one thing I always tell everybody is, let me know how you feel in real time. I tell you every time, even when you hold on to it for a minute and we finally had that conversation, I always say, you know what, next time, tell me in real time. Tell me in real time. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what it was. Tell me how you think about this. Tell me in real time, because I process in real time. And if we had a project and we went somewhere, I'll give you a prime example and still keep it the business.
Okay.
I am very big on how you introduce me. Not just you, but just people in general, right? And if we're on the friendship level, friendship trumps anything else in my world, because I will give the house I live in to someone I call a dear friend. I wouldn't do that for a business partner. With a business partner, there's boundaries that are already set. With a business partner, has to be give and take. There has to be a return on our investment in both ways. When you're a business person, in my eyes, that's exactly what it is. But when you're my friend, you're more than just that. I would rather have a great friend I do business with than do business with a friend. I'll let you unpack that later.
No,
okay?
You're not.
Okay. But so when we would be in rooms, and it's casual rooms at that, and you would introduce me as your manager or your producer, it used to rub me the wrong way. And I'm like, so why is this more important than that? Like, I'm just like, are you minimalizing us or whatnot? But then it was over time that I started to learn that because your mind is always in business mode, the title of the business trumps the friendship.
In my mind, yes.
Yes, and it trumps. So once we had that conversation and we realized, like, you told me and didn't even realize you had told this to me. But when I unpacked it and realized, like, oh, being your manager is more important, because to be your manager is to submit all responsibilities that you can now just like, I don't want to worry about this, but I know Tone got it. I don't have to question it. To me, that's a job title. Anybody can be a manager, not anybody can be a friend. But in your mind, not anybody can be a manager.
That's right.
That's a major role.
For sure.
That's like 2 steps below a husband.
I have to be able to trust you, and
Exactly.
I have to be able to allow you to do what you're going to do, even if I don't follow up. If I have a flare up, I trust you enough to make things get done. So to me, you have to be a certain person to be a manager to me. Anybody can't be a manager to me.
They can't.
I gotta know how your work ethic is. I gotta know all of it. I gotta know how we go with each other. Like I don't want a robotic manager.
Exactly. When that light bulb turned on, we never have that conflict ever again. Because now, once learning your language, how you talk and what words matter to you, it made it easier for me to match up. It's like you speaking Spanish, I'm speaking English. Once we figure out what word means the same thing, now we can have a conversation. And that's one of the things about our relationship that took a while for us to get there, but it's there. It's seamless. Nobody can ever unbeat it. So when you introduced me as your manager first, I walked in and was like, yeah, I'm her manager.
Because you my everyday person. If I don't talk to nobody else, I'm talking to you.
Exactly.
You're my everyday person. So to me, that's very important.
And all of that.
It's some of my friends that don't get access to me the way that you get access to me. So.
And the crazy part is, my friends, that's what I am with them.
See,
on the business side, schedule it. We'll talk during this time frame we got set aside. So if you're one of my clients, there's a certain time I talk to you. You can't call me at 8:00 in the afternoon, 8:00 at night, and just have a random conversation with me about whatever it is. No, there's hours of operations you talk to me during. Whereas in my friends, my friend could be drunk 1:00 in the morning and be on the phone saying the same thing 5 times over, and I'm just gonna be like, okay. Yeah, we ride at dawn. Is that what you want me to say? Cool, we ride at dawn. Let's go. That's it. It correlates different, but when I realize that we're on the same page, no matter what.
Yeah, I remember exactly when that happened.
Yeah.
How do you personally balance vulnerability, professionalism when working with a close friend?
Okay, this is a double-edged sword because everybody can't do this. A lot of times when you go into business with people, you want to go in with your friend. You want to go in with your family. You want to go in with somebody who you can have immediate access to. Unfortunately, not everybody's built like you. Not saying you in general, but when you come up with an idea, that's your baby. You have to make sure that the other person on the other side of this partnership, that's their baby too.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't see that. A lot of times people will go into business with their friends and one individual spends all the money while the other individual enjoys the credibility. And now you're like, we're not equally yoked on this, and then the friendship ends. And next thing you know it, we're on social media. One person's blasting the other person over $200 rental fees.
Unprofessional.
Unprofessional. So that can be difficult. But number one, you got to know your friend. If they're your friends, you know your friends. So you may know, like, as much as this person has a great idea and you know that the idea could be major if you go ahead and you put your part in there, but you got to remember, maybe that person not good with business. Because if a person is not good with money in their personal life, they're not going to be good with money in their business life.
For sure.
You got to check their ethics. What's your work ethics? If we got to be out here working on these templates until 12 o'clock at night, you can't be checking out at 8 o'clock because you want to go to the Eagles game. No, we got shit to do. You better prop that phone up and watch YouTube TV. You still got to keep the grind. So if you got to understand how important it is to you, and you got to find somebody on the other side who finds it just as important, and then you go from there. That's one thing I always tell you. If there's anything else about Savannah, is when it comes to business, if you give her the bug and it makes sense, she gonna ride it all the way through because she wants to see the end game. And that's what made it easier for you, because unlike typical people become friends first and then they go to business. We were in a completely different business, doing something completely different.
For sure.
And idea came up. We was like, look, we on the same page with this. Let's make this happen. And that flourished. And now we're on other ideas, and we got other businesses, and we got our own individual businesses, but we still need the input of the other person because we know we understand it. So when you want to go ahead and launch your hair care brand, you didn't just like, I'm going to go talk to my homegirls because they love hair. No, you came to me, Tone, this is what I want to do. What do you think? How's it look? What's his name? What about this? But we bounce ideas off of it. And I tell you, that's your idea. You ain't got to pay me nothing because that's your dream. Meanwhile, SNA coaching over here, let's go take care of that. We gonna do that together. I'm working on my ebook. I got your book together already. You good? Okay, we got all this over here. You got that. We got everything planned out already that we can not talk for a whole week and wake up and the business is still moving.
For sure. That's not going to happen though. But yeah, for sure. And
we can't, because we
walk in brands, and when they see me, because they know I mess with you, they know what that is. They know what that is.
And the same thing with you. They know that if I'm doing something, whatever that S is, they know it's your S.
For sure. I love that. Thank you. Can you share a moment when our friendship carried more weight than the business side?
You know what? This is tricky here. Okay. She's trying to set me up real quickly. Okay. No, honestly, your friendship to me actually holds more weight than the business. I'll give it a prime example. I had a client, and that particular client had a situation going on. Unfortunately, that situation was a conflict of interest when it came to you. Even though we got business stuff together, the one thing that you've always told me is if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So if you can still do business without it being a conflict, you'll normally tell me. But this one right here, it was going to be a conflict, 100%. And as much as I wanted to do business with them, like they had a vision that I knew I could take it to the moon. Because of that conflict, I had to leave it where it is. I had to literally sit there in a meeting and tell them, look, because of that, either you got to drop that or we can't do business, because that conflicts with Savannah. And Savannah's my partner in all aspects of business and in friendship. She comes first. And I hate to leave money on the table, but you got to make that decision, or else I got to make a decision. And they made the decision. So I did put you first in that situation. And it is what it is. I don't regret it, because at the end of the day, they're either going to make the changes and they're going to be back, or they're going to keep doing what they're doing the way they're doing it.
Well, this is my first time hearing the whole story, but that's cool, because I feel like as friends, sometimes you don't need to come back to your friend and let them know exactly what it is. You shut that down. You taking care of it. It's okay. So I appreciate that. And that's what it's supposed to be like. You know, all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? All money ain't good money. And when you get to chasing after $1, your business will fall.
Right.
Because it takes a while to make those coins to fit the way that it needs to be fit for the business to be ran. So you go after your vision, you do what you do best, and it will definitely come.
Well, one of the things that I have to say about the TDR brand is I really work hard on the reputation of what it is. One of the biggest things I always put on TDR is it's a safe space. So I don't never want anybody to feel that when you walk through the doors of TDR or you're on a project and it says TDR present across the top of it, that you can't enjoy it simply because there's someone in the space who you don't want to be in the space. There were words or actions that were said publicly and it offended you, or just simply for the fact that you just don't feel safe because of ignorancy that happened recently. I don't want that to go on in regards to it, because the way my business mind is, I can make $1 in a heartbeat. You can give me 25 cents and I'm gonna come out with $2. I did it at work, so I know I can do it. You give me a quarter, I can make $2. So making money is not a big deal, but what I do this for the people that are involved in it. So if you feel like I can't come to TDR because there's something going on, I can't go to this event, I can't enjoy myself at this kickback because these people are there, then I have to figure out why. Now, of course, I'm a businessman, so I'm gonna try to compromise.
For sure.
I'm gonna try to compromise as much as possible. But when it comes down to it and I gotta choose my peoples over business, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna choose my people. Unless my people's wrong. Then I'm gonna tell them about themselves. You gotta tell your people about themselves.
Okay. Right. Do you think friendship can actually make business stronger? And if so, how?
Ooh, yes. So one thing that why a lot of people go into business with their friends is because they want to be able to enjoy those moments. Like when you succeed or you create something or you take something to the next level, you want to have that moment where that joy and excitement of you achieving this is celebrated by somebody who knows you and know the level of importance in regards to this. I can go out here and I can have a board member of a ton of people and I can be like, I just bought a building. And some of them might be happy, but then other ones will be like, okay, so how much is this going to cost? What's this? What's that? Some people are just going to stay in that business mind. But if I told you, look, I just bought a building. Literally, I just bought a school. So with this school, I'm going to take this floor and do this, take this floor and do that. And you going to be like, my nigga, we got a school. I know this room over here going to be for me. I'm going to do this. These are the classes I want to teach. You taking the vision and you growing the vision with me, because as my friend, you knew what it took for me to get to this school.
For sure.
You knew the nights where I couldn't go out and I had to stay home 3 weeks straight. You know, I couldn't go to lunch. You know, I couldn't do this event. I shut everything down to make this possible. And you were in the grind with me shutting it down. So for me to walk off with this brand new building and now you're seeing, oh, I know what you about to do. You know what I'm about to do before the world knows what I'm about to do. So if I own a school, oh, baby girl, let me know. It's going to be way more than just a school when we're done. And you know this. And the fact that seeing that happiness and that joy from your friend makes it feel even more special. I'll give people an example right now. We working on a project right now for you. Okay. I'm telling y'all, October 18th, y'all got to see this. Every single time I show you another step of it, the way you light up as a business person, as a web designer, as a content creator, I'm like, okay, that's the acceptance. Cool. I'm going to keep going. But as a friend, to be like, look at the razzle dazzle, look at this, and be like, I know how the 4th annual one was. So now that you see the 5th, you loving this. Okay, I see where we going. Okay, now we finna do this for the 6th. Oh, you wasn't supposed to see that. And now you geeked about that because we were talking about it before. So now you see it in person and the way your face light up and the way that joy comes out of you and the way the glam girl shows up, it makes whatever I'm doing in that moment hit 10 times harder because my friend is geeked.
Yeah, it's well, thank you. I am very excited. I'm still excited. You still like bringing like glamorous jewels out of me, as they say. But no, like it's very important because that your friends see your vision.
Right.
You see my vision and you understood my vision.
Right.
That's some things that we had to talk about, tweaking things, right? But it's like it's not okay ever to go in business with somebody that does not understand the vision. You
Or
got
willing to
to understand.
compromise the vision
Willing
with
to
you.
compromise. It's never okay to go on. Like we're both headstrong. Both headstrong.
Very.
We're both talkative. We're both intuitive. Like we're both those people. So
Right.
for us to not let our egos drive each other is so important to me. This will always be
Right.
an example of whoever it is that I'm talking to that's letting their ego drive their business versus the correct thing drive the business, because you're supposed to always do what's correct for the business,
Right.
not what's for you emotionally.
Exactly.
The goal is to bring in the funds and the people and all of the things, right? You only can play for so long.
Right.
And now you got to start eating off of it.
You do.
So
that's one thing I also like about you, is because even when we're just doing regular everyday conversations, you ask things from sometimes a completely different perspective than I would ever think about looking at. Like I joke about the fact that we got two different communication styles, but those two different communication styles also create two different listening styles.
Yes.
And because of that, you may perceive something in a way that makes me have to change how I present it. And because I have to change how I present it, it makes me have to look at it from a different perspective, because I got to make you understand what I'm trying to say or the vision I'm trying to put out. So now when I go out and I'm pitching it to 500, 5,000, 50 million people, I know how to talk to each one of y'all. I know how to talk to the people who just wants the numbers. I know how to talk to the people who want the story. I know how to talk to those who just let me remind you that there's somebody in your family that got lupus. So by joining this community over here, not only are you being able to learn more about lupus, but you're helping yourself, because you're going to be able to help the ones you love. Like literally a conversation right there, and for a low price of just signing up for $47.75 can get you all of these things. I'd literally just talk to everybody in the room. And that's a behavior of communication that I had to learn trying to learn you, because you don't always listen.
I do be listening. It's just like stop the small talk. I want to know what's going on over here. Small talk
is important
sometimes.
Trying to paint the picture here.
But as for you, you know, I bring people in your space and spaces, your places and spaces, and it's just like, and that's all. That's you after that. That's you after that. So the way we feed each other is totally different.
Yeah, I always tell people, all I gotta do is get Savannah in the room.
Yeah,
that's all we gotta do. If you get Savannah in the room, she gonna make it happen. And watching you work has also caused me to do the same thing. No, for real. We were just at the Running Rebels Expo number 12 this past weekend.
Yes.
You had tables set up in regards to it. So as a friend, I was like, let me come and support my friend. As your manager, let me make sure she got everything she needs. Let me make sure she on time. Let me make sure she set this up. Let me make sure she don't put this out there. Because when I first walked in, I was like, oh, this is a beautiful thing. I'm gonna make sure I talk to everybody. Went straight to your table. Take that off there, do that, move that over there. Hey, we're gonna get that replaced. We're gonna do this. Okay, I'm gonna go walk around now. So I put my manager hat on right away. I got you together, which I'm still trying to figure out why they kept making you move, but that's a whole nother story. But because I was going to have a talk like, hey, why y'all moving my girl around here? She needs to be in one place and one place only. But what I did was from you, hey, what do you know about lupus? What do you know about the Man Up Project? Let me ask you a question. Do you got any men in your life who, you know, sometimes you got to worry about their mental health? Like it got to the point where I'm coming over here to talk to BMO Harris about opening a business account, but now I'm talking to, hey, bro, how you feeling today? Let me tell you about the Man Up Project. Things that I picked up from you, because I've watched you. We sitting here at Brownstone. We eat. We smoking a hookah. It's somebody sitting next to you. You don't even know him from a hole in the wall. Hey, let me ask you, what you know about lupus? Can this nigga drink in peace? No, like you just. So I was like, look, what is stopping me from being able to talk about what I got going on? Because yes, the minute you ask me, I got game down. Once you ask me, hey, you do podcasts. We already done. You signing up tomorrow anyway. So we good. But what's making me let them know that I know that? What about the Man Up Project? What I love about the Man Up Project is not only the message behind it, but it's making me go back to that humble beginning of learning how to present a business.
I love that because people, we are groomed, right? We're groomed, our personality, our character traits, our values, our morals. But when we decide to grow up in life and branch off, most people will never know who they are. I'm so happy to say I know who I am as a person, as an individual. So when you get to growing and seeing other things and exploring the world, your views and your values change, which is okay.
It is.
It's supposed to fit who you are today. You know what I mean? So many people are stuck. They never want to change how they grew up.
Right.
And it's okay to get away from that. You are an individual person.
Right.
So I say that to say, even with business, it's like a masterpiece. It's always created, and then you got to recreate. You always create, and you got to recreate.
So playing off of that, what people always ask me is, how am I able to stay in business for 15 years? Right. Because podcasting is one of probably the most volatile business you can get into, because one day somebody got something to say, the next day they don't want to talk no more. Topics can change, subjects can change, niches can change. The fact that me and Juan been doing this for as long as we have, I can tell you there's been many days where we like, bro, I don't even want to pod no more, but we still be doing it. You got a whole niche. You got a whole business behind it. And I know for a fact there'd be days be like, man, I just want to stay home. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to this person. I don't want to do this interview. I don't want to go here. There's this whole event going on right now that I would rather be at, but I got it. So everybody has their moments where they want to quit and they want to call it a day in regards to that. But I tell people the reason why TDR is still around is because I'm always looking to evolve it. I never wanted to be what the world wants it to be. I always want to be something new and inventive. When internet radio was a thing, I was already looking at what does podcasting look like. When podcasting was strictly audio, I was already making it visual. When it was visual, where people was recording it and watching it on YouTube, I was making it live stream. I was making it interactive. I was making it to be that it's whatever your show is on TDR, it's just a little bit different than what everybody else does. Now, it may not be the cleanest, but it's different. It stood out. Most people used to just have their screen and what their phone camera was. Every single podcast, you know the show, you know how to get a hold of somebody. There was a point in time where it was shit going on the scring. It would be little things coming across the screen. It would be the comment section showing up.
I missed that part.
No, it was a wild time. But I was doing that because it was making people look like, hey, what's this going on this video? And this is live. Oh, we can see what we saying. Like, I kept evolving it to the point where my next step, well, it's a pause right now, but everybody already know. My next step is I'm turning podcasting into a radio station.
Yeah.
I'm evolving it from the simple fact that at 4:00 in the afternoon, no matter what day it is, you can listen to Mine and My Own. Every noon, there's going to be the breakfast sandwich. That's where Tommy's show came from, because we were doing a midday show and Tommy was just having he was just potting. It was the conversation first, the music second. So we didn't want to sell your music. We want to sell the conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm always evolving it. And in business, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, people, it's a lot of people that I hear that say they dream jobs. Your dream job is, you're going to not like your dream job. Your dream job is going to stress you out. Your dream job is going to get on your nerves. Your dream job, you're not going to want to show up to. And that separates the people that wants it versus only wanting a hobby, because you're not going to always do what's right. Consistency is the key to everything. And if everybody can touch the glitter and the glam, everybody will have it. But it takes a struggle to get there. And I feel like God designed that for a reason. So you can be able to sustain that and grab your abundance when you make it there to continue to grow. But, sometimes people feel, just like in relationships, I fall out of love or it's not there. And it's like, well, remember what got you there. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to have anybody to convince you of something that you once loved.
Right.
Surgeons don't want to show up every day. Millionaires don't want to perform every day. You know what I'm saying? They do it until they get their breakthrough.
Right.
And what kept me going and what still keeps me going is, for one, I know what it feels like not to have anybody to talk to or to understand me or to understand like the whole overall thing that I'm going through.
Right.
So when I see these messages from my supporters and my warriors, that keeps me going. Because I'm not just doing this for me. That's selfish, right? I'm doing this for the world to understand that you can live healthy with invisible illnesses. Yeah, these are the things that you have to do. And it's hard as to why everybody don't live well with lupus, because you have to be consistent in changing your whole overall lifestyle.
And that's why I say people like you are important. That was literally almost probably 50% of what I pitched to you to start your podcast to begin with. And as you can see, every single day, you got new listeners, you got new followers. I was doing research the other day, and you're the only active Lupus podcast that is consistently recording in 2025. So most of your podcasts that you see out here right now, that's old material. Those are people who stopped doing it. Those are people who fell out of love of doing it because a lot of them was doing it for themselves. They were telling their story. They were talking about their things. And after a while, they started feeling like it was becoming repetitive. So they didn't want to talk about it no more. Whereas in you don't do it for you. Your warriors that come on to the show, almost every last one of, oh, this is my first time being on the podcast. That moment means something to them. Mm-hmm. They got heard. There is somebody listening, whether that person listening is just you and me or all the people who's going back, rewatching the replays or anything like that. You just affected and changed somebody. You just had somebody on your show. Was it last week, 2 weeks ago, where because of your show, her brand blew up?
Yeah, last week.
You know what I'm saying? So these kind of impacts literally every single day drives you. The simple fact that somebody in North Carolina who you ain't never seen before in your life was affected by you. Okay. Then you got people all the way in California. You got people in lupus groups who, I'm just depressed. How am I supposed to live well with lupus? When I tell you your name shows up, they just tagging you left and right. People asking you, people want to know what you're doing, people signing up for your classes, people coming to your website, people buying your wellness book. People are investing in what you have to say. You are no longer Savannah Burks, the lupus girl. You are Savannah Burks, the brand to a lot of them. You are their advocate. And that's what they listen for. So at the end of the day, the only reason why you're not doing this no more is because God took the ability from you. And then knowing you, then you're just going to be blogging. You're right. You're going to be typing it.
You're my computer while I'm in the bed.
You're going to be on Facebook somewhere in the community. You're going to be doing something.
Yeah. But they definitely keep me going. And I'm so there's not a moment where I'm not proud of the community, because you guys, if you follow my story, you understand what it took me to even get here. And sometimes I don't be willing to do this, but I think about you guys, and I feel like I know I have to show it for you guys because it's important. And don't get me wrong, it's so overwhelming, but I'm so blessed to be overwhelmed with all of this work, because soon I will have a team that will be able to manage all of the messages that I'm getting without delays.
Yes, that means I can take a day off.
So just work with me, you guys. I am getting to everything. It just takes me a little bit of time because my team is not that big, but just know I'm seeing you and I'm going to respond back to you. So,
and we're evolving the brand too. So
yeah, we are involving the brand.
So it's going to be more interaction. It's going to start feeling a lot more personal in regards to it. So you're not just only having conversation and answering questions. We're going to help you live well with lupus.
For sure. Let's move on to invisible illness awareness. My favorite part.
Why are you
laughing? How has my lupus journey influenced the way you see partnership, patience, and productivity?
Okay. All right, so my ex is gonna yell at me for this answer. You actually taught me more about lupus that makes me look at invisible illnesses as a whole, that has given me so much patience when dealing with people. But one thing I also love about you is you are a person of your word. So when you say something, it's damn near law. Okay. So when you tell me I'm not feeling well, my nervous system is doing this, my back is this way, my shoulder is here, I can't go outside in the sun without my big hat, I need this blanket, I need this, you got to put this tent up. In the beginning, you were probably a needy ass girlfriend who I wasn't getting no benefits from. Okay, like this is a girlfriend who you just got born into, right? But over time, as we've been doing these episodes and I've been doing my research on the topic, because to build the episodes, we build them together. Mm-hmm. So you'll be like, hey, I want to talk about lupus and music. Okay, let's make this happen. What do you want to do? What's the object? Who's the person? Let's talk about this. Let's do the research. So as I'm researching the guests and researching the topics, I'm learning more about it, and I'm seeing and hearing how so many different people are dealing with it, that I became a lot gentler with you. Okay. Because who you talking to is your phrase, but it's damn sure was in my mind a lot. Like, if this girl, like, I'm gonna throw her. If I can throw her, I would. But over time, as I got to learn, like, no, Tone, she got lupus. And the reason why I say my ex is gonna be mad at me about this conversation was she would do the same things, and I would think you're just playing. You're just making an excuse. You're just being needy. You're doing whiny. You don't want to do the stuff that you're supposed to do. You're not handling your business as a person, and now you want me to carry your load plus my load, and I wasn't going to do that. So even though that wasn't the reason why we broke up, it definitely caused a lot of unnecessary tension in the relationship. And had I known you back then, I definitely would have been a lot gentler with her, and I would have understood her situation a lot more. And because of that, I'm starting to notice that I know more people with lupus than I did. Mm-hmm. Just like I know too many damn Libras, I know a lot of people with lupus.
It's Libra season, y'all.
And that's why I threw the shot real quick. But because of that, I listened to them. And just like how you like we said about your show, how people feel heard when someone says, "Hey, what do you know about lupus?" And I run it down to them, I was like, oh, no. Okay, you want to, you know what? I'm not the best person for this. Let me go ahead and give it to Savannah here. This is where you can reach her at. Is LHNF2020 on all the things. Go ahead and I tag you. This is the person you want to talk to. Like me and my mom, rest in peace.
My condolences.
Prior to before she passed, she was watching one of your episodes. I don't even remember what the episode was, but she was watching one of your episodes, and she was like, your mama had lupus. I'm like, no, she didn't. Because I'm like, in my head, like, I've been around my mama all her life. Like, she did not have any signs of lupus. But then I had just like, Tone, you don't know what signs are. It's different in everybody. It's like, okay, step back. I listen. So while I'm sitting here talking to the lady from Lupus of America, and she's sitting here talking, and all of a sudden rheumatoid arthritis came up in my head. I was like, damn, Savannah talk about that all the time. And those usually 1 and 2 go together. Damn, mama did have lupus. Because now I'm correlating the behaviors of some of the things that she went through and some of the symptoms and some of the things, and then factored in the rheumatoid arthritis, which is another invisible illness. And I'm going down the list and I'm like, damn, mama did have lupus. My grandmother had lupus. I knew nothing about it. Now, taking consideration, this is a 70-year-old woman, so Lord knows if anybody knew what lupus was at the time. Mm-hmm. But she found out about it, and a lot of things that remind me of my grandmother about you, I can see how. And I'm not saying it's because of the lupus.
Yeah, but, yeah, I get it.
But and I'm starting to see a lot like, no, mama used to do that. Okay, mama had lupus. And now it keeps rolling in my head. So because of that, I'm a lot gentler with people. I don't care what you say that your illness is, whether you have sickle cell, Down syndrome, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, SLE, neuropathy, whatever you have, I'm listening now.
Yeah, that's why I always tell people that people ask me like, well, how was your show? And I'm like, well, you tell me how my show was. Or they'll be asking me, and I'm like, well, you go read it, because I feel like some people don't understand it unless they read it. Don't ask me unless I'm presenting it. Right. But I need for you to go read and you come back to me and tell me your understanding of it. Just like you said, you had a ex with lupus and you never understood because you never took out the time to educate yourself.
Right.
Now you're educating with me for somebody that hasn't. It's like you have a whole different outlook on it.
I do.
So I always
have to apologize to her.
So I always tell people like, go read it yourself, and then you come back to me and let me know.
Like, it's to the point, and just to tie back into the friendship, I can tell when your lupus affecting you on screen. Like, I can tell the episodes where you're going through something and your body is bothering you, or your nerves are off, or your neck is hurting because of this, or we just got done having an event and I can tell how your skin is a little bit irritated in regards to it. I can spot all those things now. And because of that, I can go back to episode 8 months ago, and it'll be like right there, your shoulder was bothering you that day.
Yeah, and it's good for you to be vocal about what's wrong with you. Don't sit there around your people that's supposed to love you. You should be very vocal. And if they don't understand, they don't understand. But you should be very vocal around people around you because you may need some help. May or may not, but at least they know.
They know.
Before working with me, how much did you know about lupus or invisible illness in general?
Okay. So fibromyalgia, I knew a lot about. Because I had a show here on the network called Fly Girl with Fibro. So kind of just like how often or not you talk about living well with lupus in regards to your show, she often not talked about navigating with fibro. So I had a little bit of understanding of that in regards to it. Then when you look at people with sickle cell is probably the most known invisible illness that most people talk about because there's always somebody famous that suffers from sickle cell in regards to it. But as I just said in the story before, when it came to lupus, y'all just making it up. Is how I looked at it.
That's how everybody looked at it. Because but they don't understand. They don't understand,
and because it affects everybody differently. Like my sister Mimi has lupus, the host of Hostly Awkward, and I got to remind myself she has lupus. Because nothing about how she navigates in everyday life, even while she's pregnant right now, shows any sign that lupus has ever been there. So if Mimi was supposed to be my representation of what lupus looked like, y'all niggas lying is what would be in my head. But then you turn around and you look at, let's say, Anita, one of your guests that you had on your show, who she's constantly battling with it often. Like, I think for a brief moment in time, she was more in the hospital than she was out the hospital.
Yeah.
For a moment in time. If she was my first representation of what it looked like, I'd be like, ooh, I'd never want to have that. But that's not always the case for everybody.
For sure.
Because then you look at you, which is the whole reason why your organization is called what it is you don't look like you have lupus.
For sure.
So what is it supposed to look like? This is the reason why it's called invisible. So I've had interactions with so many people with lupus in so many different aspects, but because everybody's is different and I didn't have the knowledge to kind of be sympathetic to it, I really didn't care about it.
Education is key. You want to read some of those comments that's on the screen?
I'll try because I ain't got my glasses.
My DJ. Hey, DJ. That's so my DJ.
Boogie said, nice setup. Thank you, my guy, bro. You know, like I say, I'm always trying to evolve it. But this one right here, she gotta have her own little glamorous look to her thing. So this is kind of thing right there. I think somebody just gave us hearts on the other one. I got to get up to move the mouse. People, y'all got to forgive me. I'm used to being over there. So there's a lot of stuff going on here that I can't do. And then I can't see that's Walter.
Yeah, remember he was out with us, family.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Watt. Okay. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay. But oh no. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got our regulars that always show up. We got people live on TikTok with us today, listening to this beautiful conversation. You're dope.
Well, thank you. It takes a team to make somebody. Well, I know I'm dope, but to bring the dopeness into the organization and the community and have people look at us like y'all really dope. It takes a team for us to be dope.
I got a question for you.
I ain't done. See, this is what I'm saying. I have a question for you. What do you want? What's your question?
What made you want to work with me? Because I came to you with the idea of starting a podcast, but what made you say, let's do this?
Because it made sense.
Okay.
And I could understand it, and I could see it in go, and I can see a whole lot of other host of things. And I did my research on you too, so the trust was there.
I hope you did your research because I'm researching.
Because I'm not, a lot of people. It's very rare that it's only a handful of people that can just tell me what to do, and I listen. But I know the people that can tell me what to do. I know they have my best interest at heart, so I follow.
I've watched people try to talk to you.
Don't make me seem like I'm just a competitive person. They don't know what they be talking about.
No, you're not a combative person. But those people who know Savannah, and she's gonna let you know how she feels, and she does it out of love. She just can be aggressive with it. I still love her though. So let me ask you this question: from the minute we first initially sat down and started having a conversation about business to where we are today, have I brung any of your dreams that you want to fruition? And are there any things that we started that we should have did that we kind of dropped that you wish we would pick back up?
Yes. So what I envisioned, you definitely did it. The things that I wanted, you definitely presented it with a nice amount of time.
Okay.
How it looked in my mind, you brought it to light. So I like that. I like how if I say something, you listen to me to the point where it's like you get it right on the first time. Yes, in the beginning we had our kind of like, no, go back and do this, go back and do this. But you knew where you were going. You were driving in the right direction. Now it's just like, oh, okay, let me just read it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it looks good. Let me just read
Look,
it.
what you not gonna do?
But no, you brought everything, and everything that I came to you about, even though we go back and forth, I trust your judgment. It's been what it's supposed to be.
You know what?
What it's supposed to be.
Okay. I wouldn't want to do business with you if we can't go back and forth.
Yeah, I want to know yes person because you're going to irritate me.
No. And I say the same thing too. And the reason why is because that's where creativity comes into play at. That is where new ideas can be formed, because if we're all just saying, this is what I like, okay, I'm okay with that, I'm not going to give you the effort, because I feel like you're not giving me the effort. I feel like you're just saying yes because you're getting something that you want, but you're not getting it the way you want. If you can't come back and say, I like that purple, but I want a different purple. It may be irritating, but I get where you're going with it, because now it makes me have to look at it from a different color. So now here's this color that I was going to use. I was like, but I like this color. You know what? Let me go make something else with this color. And then next thing you know, it a whole new design changed. Because I remember when I first started making your marketing material, I kept it the purple that matched your logo. I kept the lettering simple. I just put the words up there. I might threw your photo up there because I always loved the cocoon one. And that was it. Boom. Put it out there. You got a show started. Then I was like, nah, you got this person on there. Let's do this instead. Ooh, we got a musician. Let's throw this in the background instead. To the point where it's now is like, I got people who don't even know who made your marketing material, praising your marketing material while sitting right in front of me, knowing I didn't know that I'm the one that did it. And I'd love to hear that, because you allow me to be creatively free. And not everybody does that.
And so yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I have to have some type of control creative when it comes to me, and you allow me to have that. So I allow you to have that because you're good at what you do. So I'm not a person, like just prime example. If you go in and you like, I want my nails exactly like this, or I want my hair exactly like this. If you didn't go to the person that created that hairstyle, it's going to be a little different. So I feel like you have to let that person tell them what you want. Let that person create it in their mind and their way that they know how to create it. And then you just go back and forth. But I haven't been disappointed at all, especially with the new project that's coming up. It's literally blowing me away. So I'm excited for all of the things.
I'm blowing myself away because
I'll be pushing you to the limit.
Push it to the limit. No, the reason why I'm excited about it is because the one thing about Lupus Has No Face compared to any other projects I've ever had to work with is you have 5 years of consistent material that I can build your idea off of. Like, it's not you just wanting to make candles one day and you came up with 5 different flavors because this one was on sale on Etsy. No, you legitimately have everything in alignment, that everything makes sense with the next thing. You keep your verbiage consistent across the board. You keep your mission front and center in regards to how you present everything. So it makes it easier for me to understand what the goal is, what the vision is. So once I put the platform together of this is what Lupus Has No Face means, this is what she's trying to do. Now let me put my razzle dazzle on it. Now let me say, that course is cool, but I know her. She can talk through 30 minutes of material and we still on the intro. Let's flesh this out. It's no longer a 1 hour course. It's a 3 hour course. It's a 2 hour course. But if it's 3 hours, it's a 4 week long course. If it's 2 hours, it's a 6 week long course. Now in your head, be like, well, I don't want to talk to these people for this long. But then you look at it, it's like, I see what you did here. I see where this is going. Okay. Now we can do this. Hey, I wanted to do this, but I never thought about how to get there. And now we're here. So now you be like, Savannah, go put your brand on it, put your sprinkle on it. And then you bring it back to me. What was a 6-week course? Now an 8-week course. Now it's a 3-month seminar. Like now it grew from a, hey, I just want to talk to you about eating well, to now we're going to change your life.
I know your blood type. What's your triggers?
Right.
Get the journal.
Like now we in there.
Because I know like you gotta grow with your business.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I love the fact that I see myself grow from day one, from year one, I want to say. And that's dope to me.
It is. Because I went back and I looked at year one you and I'm just like, ooh, I don't know who that is.
Don't do that.
I don't know who that is, but this butterfly that's in front of me right now, that's not the same one that was there year one.
But listen, I was doing it.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's, believe it or not, that's a good thing.
No, I know it's okay.
Because if you one thing I always do, you just got done with your first year, so you still got fresh material where you can remember when you recorded this episode. But every once in a while in April, I go back and I listen to the very first episode of the Death Fresh Show. Okay. When I listen to how the audio sounds, I listen to how the conversation was, I listen to how chaotic it is, I listen to how many times I use profanity, I listen to how Mimi changed the whole dynamic of the episode. I do it every single year because it reminds me like, yo, we 15 years later. And now listen, Death Fresh Show is still chaotic. It's still a mess, but there's so much more structure there. There's so much better conversation. There's so much growth in not only the show itself, but how we talk, what we talk about, how in depth we are in regards to that. Yeah, and even within your 66 episodes you've done, me and you just kind of looked at your first episode.
Yeah, I feel like you always got to have a opener, middle, and a closer. I feel like that's the only way that I will listen to a podcast if it makes sense. I don't like listen to podcasts. It's all over the place. That's just me. I don't like it. I don't like too long of a podcast because I lose my interest unless it's something that I'm learning. But that's just me. That's the podcaster that I am.
And that's the way the podcast world is, where you can find what you like.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody.
How do you balance showing compassion without making someone feel like they're being pitied? Sweet, short, and simple.
Oh, easy. Your communication style makes the biggest difference. I happen to work a 9-to-5 job where abrasiveness seems to be the only way people listen, but there's those rare moments where you have to put some compassion in it. You have to stop. You have to speak to them in a way that they feel heard, because this is a safe space. Every time me and you do an episode, after the episode, if life is not lifing, we have a conversation about it.
For sure.
Okay. In that conversation, there's a little bit of all that there. We like, this is the episode. This is what I thought about it. This is what you need to work on. This is what was good. And then there's those ones like, come here, you need a hug and a forehead kiss because that episode kind of went a little deep there. And then we would have this is what I loved about it. This is where you improved. You did your thing here, but this is where we got to get back to. And it even gets to the point where it'd be like, well, what do you think about the episode? It's one of your best episodes yet. You said that last week. Yeah. Until this episode came out. Now,
I'm always looking for growth.
Yeah, like, well, now this one's the best one. So it's that you got to have empathy. You got to have compassion. You got to read the room.
And be honest.
And you can be honest, but not be an asshole.
Yeah, because that's the only way your person is going to grow. So for sure. I appreciate that too, for real. Have there been moments where Lupus forced us to pivot in our work together? And what did you learn from those moments?
You don't listen.
What?
Okay. So Savannah M. Burks. I don't know what the M stand for, but we're going to put it right there for now. I'm not going to put your real initial. But Savannah M. Burks does not listen when her mind is set on something. Okay. I love her for that. But when Lupus is looping, I often tell her, take your ass home. Rest, relax, get yourself together. No. I gotta do this. I gotta go do this. No, I don't want to miss this. I gotta go. I gotta show up for this. go home because your lupus is lupus. Okay. I just don't feel, but okay, I'm gonna go home. Text me when you get home because that's what I do for my friends. Let me know you made it home safely. She'll text me home. I open up my phone the next day. Here's a small little video of Savannah at the place that she was supposed to stay home from. I couldn't stay home. I just had to. I just was just there for an hour. How do you feel? I feel like crap. My body hurts. Oh, my head. Oh. What were you supposed to do? I know you said go home, but I had to.
Support is very important for me. I do try my best to support all of my friends
and I told
and people that's doing things, but sometimes.
So this is the friend in me talking to the friend in you. Okay. There are some times where the people who love you and support you,
yeah, for sure,
know you.
Yeah,
they know your flare-ups. They know your lupus. They know your intentions. They know your heart. So if you want to show up and support, you can easily text them, girl, I want to come out, but I think I'm having a lupus flare-up right now. And you know what they're going to say? Girl, it's okay. We can get together next week. We can show up at Brownstone.
I know
we can do that.
I know that is true, but it's just people be wanting to see you. And I know that. So that's, but I did slow down. I have slowed down a lot. But I've been watching my friends. I've been watching y'all. Y'all been doing y'all thing, for sure. So I'm gonna start back popping out, supporting again.
And we're not mad at you.
No,
but we
it's
care
just a
enough.
me thing.
It's a you thing, and I know
thing.
that. And it's to the point where I get it that I don't even get upset no more. I've gotten to the point as your friend when I know you're supposed to be going home to have a flare up. I would rather you text me and say, Tone, don't be mad at me, but I cannot not go support insert person here. Because either one or two things is going to happen. Text me when you get there. Let me know you safe. Text me when you get home. Or, all right, I'm about to pull up. Because I know you already not feeling good. So to put you in this environment without knowing that nobody is keeping tabs on you and how you are feeling and how your body is, because you'll hit the hookah and you'll get in your zone and you'll lose all feeling. And next thing you know, the next day, your whole spine, you can't get out the bed, and we can't be having that because you got a 4:30 flight you got to catch.
Man, them flights be. We ain't gonna talk about that. So listen, what advice would you give to others who may be supporting a business partnership or friends living with an invisible illness?
Believe them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, believe them.
For sure.
Like, I don't care what they say, believe them. Because until you are in their actual shoes and feeling what they're feeling, you can't understand it. Like, a lot of people don't understand, like, to have an illness that specifically affects your nervous system, that's something that not everybody can experience. You can bump your knee, and that feeling you get from bumping your knee, you feel it in that moment. But for somebody with an invisible illness like fibro or lupus, that moment may resonate to the whole leg, to the whole body, and it may be there for a while. It may not go away. They could just be doing regular everyday things, and now you have this whole feeling of small little electric shocks under your skin that you cannot scratch, constantly going on, and you can't stop it. You can't take anything for it. You can't do anything, and it sometimes can be immobilizing where you're in the bed all day and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to accept the fact that you're stuck in the bed that day.
For sure.
So you got to figure out workarounds. So if somebody was supposed to come out that night and they tell you, hey, I can't make it, I'm not feeling well, believe them. Don't have a big deal about it. Don't get mad. She said she was going to come out. She'll never show up. Nope, just believe them. Matter of fact, if it's a friend that you care dearly about and she's comfortable with you being in her safe space, pivot.
For sure.
Girl, we coming over watching movies at your house instead. What you want to watch? Home Alone again? Even though it's July. We'll watch Home Alone.
That's my show.
Okay.
If you could leave our listeners with one message about friendship, business, or resilience, what would it be?
You got to treat every relationship like the same thing. Make sure you're on the same common ground in regards to the thought process. Communication is key. I know we say communication is a key in relationship, but you got to remember every single ship is a relationship, your business ship, your partnership, your friendship. All of these ships sail off of communication. There's no way that this ship can go from Africa to America if they're not talking to anybody else in the water to avoid mistakes be happen. Judge people based off of what they do as well as what they say, because I can tell Savannah ABCD is going on this weekend. If she has something going on, she's going to tell you, hold on, wait a minute. What days are these again? Don't get mad. Girl, I just told you last week we doing this. No, just tell it to her again. Brain fog is real. Not just for lupus, because the hell I have it. I got brain fog. Hanging out with her sometimes make me think I got lupus, because there be a lot of stuff she be dealing with. I be like, I just had that last week. But I also think because we tethered, because we so tight, things that happen to her happen to me. I be knowing when she be having a bad day, and I be all the way in like Cleveland, and I be knowing. Be like, I'm having a bad day, and I pick up the phone and call her. What's going on with you? And she be like, they doing this, and my client won't listen to them. Okay, that's why I'm having a bad day. Okay, let's figure out what your situation is, because then my day will clear up. But believe your friends, trust your friend, learn to make safe spaces that you guys can communicate about personal and business, and please try to avoid mixing the two. One thing me and Savannah used to do a lot, we don't need to do it as much as we used to, but we would literally have to break our messages up mid-conversation so we understand what's going where. Business, did you take care of this, this, and that? Personal, I want to go such and such after we record. Business, we took care of that. That's already. Check the calendar. You should have got an email. I also made sure I attached you to this right here. ... Personal. Look, I only got ABCD on me right now, but we can swing in if you want to. No big deal. ... How are you feeling? Period. Business, personal. Business. This day is over with. I hate it. Personal. My back is bothering me, and I think such and such, and I think I was outside in the sun too long. ... Okay, get sunscreen, do this, do that. Make sure you wear your big hats. Make sure you got your water. Business. I didn't do it. Like that's literally that used to be our conversations for a minute.
Is, but we got a hang of it. We got a hang of it.
Now it's like, we'll talk business first, and then, girl, let me tell you about these people at work. And that's literally how it is now. But yeah, you got to create those boundaries. I fucking love you for reintroducing the necessity of boundaries, because a lot of times as friends who are doing business, people don't know how to separate the two. And more importantly, people don't know how to respect them. And that causes an unnecessary conflict. It'd be like, I'll give you one great example for the listeners. Savannah and me, we have a language in personal that we can play with each other. We can talk with each other. But when we're out in public and it's a situation where Savannah is in business mode, I have to cut all that off. And I can only address her in a certain way. And I can only talk to her in a certain way. And I can only respond to her in a certain way. And in the beginning, I used to be like, who the hell are you talking to like that? Right? But then when the light switch of the importance of management and the importance of representation came into play, and she like, look, Tone, I understand woo, but I don't like when you do this. I don't like with this. When I'm around these people, this is how. And I'm like, what box are you trying to put me in? Because I'm not feeling it. But then it clicked in my head. Savannah Burks, the brand, is present right now.
Yeah.
Not Glam Girl Vanna. Yeah. So when Glam Girl Vanna is present, your aura is a little bit different.
For sure.
So because of that, you got to learn that. And the thing about you is, because since you're always in business mode, Savannah Burks, the brand, is always present. You got to earn Glam Girl.
For sure.
So that means that I don't care how many friends we have in common, 90% of them only sees the brand of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And I had to learn that. Whereas in these same 90 friends, these same group of friends, they see Tone before they see Antonio. So I had to learn how to switch those two.
Code switching.
Yeah, I had to learn how
At
to
its
switch those
finest.
two when we're in these environments, and I had to minimize certain conversations or wait until we have our personal space in this business place to have those moments. Once those moments have been had, and I got that, okay, I kind of mess with you right now, out my system, we back in mode. We work in the room. You over here, I'm over here, and before you know it, we just got 5 new clients.
For sure.
And then we come back, get our playful moment, we joke, and then we go back. I had to learn that with you. I had to learn that.
Well, this was only supposed to be
how long we
one show.
I ain't got my glasses.
It's only supposed to be one show, but we're gonna have another show. So we're gonna do a part 2 because we did not cover growth and legacy, fun, lighting questions, and we did not cover business partnership dynamics. So I'm going to have you on here for part 2.
Let's say
so
conversation.
I don't know, maybe on a glamorous conversation. So we'll see. Who knows? But thank you so much for being on the show. I greatly appreciate that. This was a dope conversation. You guys already know what time it is. If you missed the live, please go to Lupus Has No Face podcast. Like, share, and subscribe while you're there. You respond or you comment, we respond back. Until next time. See you later.
I got to get up to do this.
Producer and guest at the same time. Bye.